So today we have here is the Tenda AC23. This is a very affordable AC router, and today we're going to take a look at it and go through how to set it up alongside with some quick tests on how this router actually performs in our setting right here. So let's get started. So the Tenda AC23, before we actually proceed, there are a few things that I need to highlight. Number one, in our previous router video, we found out that a lot of you are buying routers directly from China. While it is cheaper, there are two main issues if you are buying directly from China. Number one, the obvious one is going to be warranty. Number two, it's going to be the configurator part. Configurator, not configuration, because the configurator, the UI for that router is absolutely completely different from the Malaysian version. And in terms of configuration, the difference here is that there is no built-in VLAN ID. So yeah, it's annoying and you have to scour it for your own. There's no guarantee that it will work with your ISP, but just buy it officially from Malaysia, the Malaysia reseller or the retailer, or just buy it directly from the brand. So, opening up the box, we have some user manual and whatnot. I'm not gonna touch that. Oh, now I know why the box is so big. This AC23 here is wrapped in this nice bag, and the antennas are insane. I feel like this can be a good crown. Okay, so we'll leave the router aside, and in terms of all the accessory that it comes with, it's pretty simple. Ethernet jack and also power cable. That's all you get with the AC23, so we'll leave that aside for now. And first, let's just take a look at the router itself first. At the front here, we have indicator LEDs as usual, and at the back here, we have a total of 3 different gigabit Ethernet ports. One of them is for IPTV, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing much to highlight. And this router also comes with 4x4 MU-MIMO, not too sure how to pronounce it, but it's multi-user, multi-input, multi-output. So that's good if you have a lot of devices connected to the same router. For us personally, each of us in the office here owns like about 4 different Wi-Fi connected devices, so MU-MIMO is very important. Okay, so now we just plugged in the AC23 and replacing our existing Wi-Fi router modem combo. Looking at the app itself, you can also configure your Wi-Fi name and password. You can select it to unify both 2.4 and 5 GHz like usual, like many other routers available nowadays. Not too sure if you really want to do that or not, but there's also guest Wi-Fi network if you want to do so, to which is also configurable via the app. And then inside the app, you can also do some other commonly found things, like you can change your login password if you want to do so, and then you can also blacklist certain devices from connecting to that router. You can set speed limit for per device, and you can also select if you get a notification when the device comes online. That's interesting. Parental controls can also be set here. You can also modify some remarks or have a look at some of the internet information per device. I would say the amount of information offered here is amazing. So right now we're just going to do a quick speed test, and we have to clarify that we are doing this not to test the maximum throughput of this router right here, but we are only going to test if it can handle our maximum internet speed, which is 100 megabits download and 50 megabits upload. Okay, so before we jump into the speed test, one thing I should clarify is that we're using 5 GHz instead. Now we know 5 GHz is not going to provide you the best in terms of distance, but it will give you the best speed possible, which is just the main advantage against 2.4 GHz. So let's run the speed test and see how things go. What? And done. As expected, the speed here is obviously what we have, so nothing weird going on here because we're just sitting right beside the router anyway. So let's move on to another place. So now we are outside the office. The audio is going to be weird, by the way, because there's a lot of echo. Anyway, let's do the speed test again and see how is it performing. Now we are like about 20-30 meters away from the router. Is that it? I think so. Still going fine. As you can see, the signal bar is still full strength, so no issues there. Even the upload speed is doing fine. I just don't know why there's an initial spike to 100 something megabits upload at the beginning, but still it's performing as expected. So now we are downstairs and let's just do the speed test again and see how things go, because as you know, 5 GHz, after you have some distance with the router, then your signal speed is going to be not as strong. As you can see here, the speed is not even near 100 megabits download speed, which we can get if we are upstairs. So yeah, this is a big distinction. Even upload speed is kind of affected, but not by much because it's only 50 up maximum for our internet plan. So yeah, it's okay. Okay, so now we're back in the office, and overall, the Tenda AC23 right there is actually doing quite a good job for an AC router, especially for the price of 209 ringgit. But then again, the app it definitely needs some improvement because the initial setup is not the best. You still need to use the traditional way to go in there and configure the VLAN ID. But if you are using time.com, then you don't have to configure the VLAN ID, so you just plug it in, configure PPPoE, connect it, and then it should work right away. That's not the case if you're using Unify or Maxis, so do keep that in mind. One more thing that I want to add is that Wi-Fi 6 is not always the better option to go as of now, because Wi-Fi 6, it's still in early adoption phase, so more and more new devices are only starting to support Wi-Fi 6. And if you want to get Wi-Fi 6 router, then the only way to utilize Wi-Fi 6 is by doing local wireless file transfers. If you're just using it for internet, then most probably you're not going to even use like most of its potential. So that's all we have to say about the Tenda AC23. Remember, just don't buy it from China because you'll have even more issues. So just buy it directly in Malaysia because you have local warranty and also all the VLAN IDs configured for you, and you can just go in there, click a few things, and then it should be running right away. So for this price, I'm really amazed. I didn't know an AC router can be this affordable. So yeah, that's the conclusion. So we'll see you next time.